A common pattern when using the FormView control in a UX component is to put the editors that are used to edit the field values in the form in a separate panel card. But if you're using the FormView control in a web application, you might want the editors to pop up very close to the field that you're editing, possibly in a pop-up window. So you can see that in this particular UX component here, we have a list control that represents the data source for our FormView control, and then we have a FormView control over here. And when I tap on a field in the FormView control in order to edit the value in that field, you can see here that the editor pops up in a drop-down window relative to the field itself. And then since it's a drop-down window, if I click anywhere off the window goes away. So if I were to go over there and then change that value to say 58, hit the save button, you can see now we've edited the value in the form. If we hit the save button now, the form is going to be committed back to the list, which is the data source, and then we can synchronize the list by pushing the edits back to the database. So you can see here that we've got a text editor for the company name. We have a text editor for the address field. For the country field, we have a list editor, so we can go there and select the country from a drop-down list. And then for the city field, we've chosen a keyboard editor. So here's our keyboard editor for this field. So let's go back now and see how this was done. So if we go back to our design mode here, we can see that we have our list control, and there's our FormView control, and then here are our editors inside an editor set. We have a text editor, a keypad editor, and a list editor, and the editor set itself is shown inside a window control. So here's our window, and the window basically has certain properties. We've specified that the window is a drop-down window and that its position is a relative to the standard drop-down position. So the window is basically going to be relative to an object, and it's going to basically be relative to the actual field that I clicked on. And then you can see we've basically turned off the title. So we've turned off the title, and we've specified that the window itself is not resizable. Then the key thing to display the window relative to the field that you're editing, normally in an editor set you would have code in the show JavaScript that would bring into focus the panel card where the editors lived. But in this case we don't have any code in the show JavaScript over here, but what we do have is in the high JavaScript. We're going to go and just simply close the window that contains the editor set, and then to actually show the window, you can see that in each editor, in the show editor property, we've got code over here that actually opens up the window, and it opens up the window relative to the field that I'm currently editing. So from the settings object that is passed into this JavaScript here, we can get the name of the field that we currently have clicked on, and then the ID, the span that contains that field in the FormView control, is constructed using dialog component name, followed by the form name, followed by the field name, followed by .display. So once we have this ID over here, we can get the object the object that contains the field, and then we can pass that object in as the first parameter to the show container window. So this is going to actually go ahead now and show the window relative to this position over here. So this is the code that opens up the window that contains the editors, and it opens up the window relative to the field that I'm currently editing. So if we go back now and we run this, we can see now that since I'm clicking on the company name field, the drop-down window opens relative to the company name field. But here I'm clicking on the address field, and you can see that the window opens up relative to the address field. If I just go over there, you can see that the window opens up. So in this particular pattern over here, the editors